The South Korean military, meanwhile, came under fire on the night of December 3rd last year. And in this following report, our defense correspondent Kim Bo-kyoung takes a look at the efforts underway to regain public trust.
Public trust in the military collapsed once again after former President Yoon Suk Yeol used the armed forces as a political tool in declaring martial law. Because of South Korea's painful history of military rule, the armed forces have long been working to rebuild public confidence. So it came as a major setback for the military to see that trust crumble again. Amid this fallout, many junior officers have been leaving the service. In the first half of this year alone, a total of 2,869 Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps officers applied for voluntary early discharge, the highest number ever recorded.
Even before the martial law incident, young officers were already leaving because military life was simply too difficult. Constant relocations, frontline duties, limited personal time, low pay, and increasing workloads. It took 20 to 30 years after the military dictatorship era for the armed forces to rebuild themselves as a people's military. But then martial law happened, delivering a major blow to soldiers' sense of pride.
To erase the traces of martial law, President Lee Jae-myung appointed a 5-term lawmaker as defense minister, making him the first civilian defense chief in 64 years. He then carried out a major personnel shakeup in September, replacing all 7-star general posts. 2 months later, another large-scale reshuffle of general-grade officers was announced, with 20 of 31 major generals promoted to lieutenant general. Professor Kim, Korea National Defense University, says that while it is necessary to punish those directly involved in the martial law declaration, it is also important to ensure stability and transparency in personal appointments.
Everyone agrees that the small number of people clearly involved in the martial law attempt should be punished. But if the military suddenly changes the balance of people from certain backgrounds or rushes to put people into roles they're not suited for, it becomes very hard for others to accept those decisions.
To prevent the military from becoming involved in unlawful orders again, the Defense Ministry has backed a bill that would give service members the right to refuse them. In fact, several officers have already been promoted for refusing to carry out orders related to the martial law attempt. Given that strict obedience to superiors is central to military culture, the legal revision and these promotions have raised concerns both inside and outside the armed forces. Some experts argue that if a disobedience clause is to be introduced, there should at least be a clear distinction between wartime and peacetime. Discussions continue to ensure the military never again becomes a tool of politics. Kim Bo-kyoung, Arirang News.